Why am I watching this and why should I care? Great question. Gay, furry, Dark Viper knockoff. Shut up, Quinthio. Please just get to it. Dude, I'm gonna be honest. I feel like this is getting like out of control now. Like I'm gonna keep a buck with you. I don't think Pirate Software broke the law. The second you start talking about Pirate Software broke the law, you lost me. He's like, oh, well, he's a grown man. I didn't tell him to do anything. DM, if it's about to lose, sure. If I'm about to lose the hype train, sure. Donate that money. That's an artificial inflation. Wow. Gay Riddler with a elbow drop to the throat.
You're suing a man and you ended with a fucking dog hitting a fucking drum! Oh, I'm fucking mad.
Cops is filmed on location with the men and women of law enforcement. All suspects are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law.
Oh, God, I hate Quinthio, but he's the only person that I got a video for when it comes to the Pirate Software Twitch stuff. I hate this guy. I hate Quinthio, okay? I'm just putting it out there. I hate Quinthio. I hate Cam Nuggets. I hate all these guys that came up during the Mr. Beast era of shit. I fucking hate these people. But if you made a good video, I'll give it a shot.
This video is going to, at a bare minimum, showcase yet another example of Pirate Software being incredibly...
So, before we get into it, if you need to know what's going on, Pirate Software is currently being accused of faking his hype train status on Twitch. Basically, people donate a lot of money, you get hype trains, and then boom, it keeps going bigger and bigger, and then boom, there's like records to break, longest hype train ever, or multiple hype trains. There are things that like Dexterto and these companies will like take notice of if you're a large streamer. No one really cares. Honest to God, I can't believe you care about a fucking hype train. But in the spirit of the hype train, Moldavius is currently being accused of inflating his hype train and not being accurate with it.
Scummy, or it could also include Pirate Software breaching the terms of...
Chris is a nothing burger because there is proof that this isn't the case, so I keep hearing that it's not. So it turns out Pirate Software got his moderators to keep the hype train going by having them gift subs and gift bits when he broke the hype train record. Cool. Let me know if you do. Bits is going to be the best way to do it due to the return if you need to save it. Bits rather than T3s. T3s might be better, don't know. Bits is an 82% return when you buy them in bulk. Have you bought any yet? I've done 100 T1s on my personal, ready to do 40 T3s on an alt. Can't do bits instead or both. Did 50k bits at 20 seconds left. Okay, what's the alt account? Where's the beef? Didn't mention this in the mods earlier. Now challenge to clear. This is so weird to me. This is a weird thing. Like, I understand that his mod, like, wants to donate that money, and it's the mod's money to donate. But, like, Moldavius doesn't need to kind of, like, coach this guy on which way to donate and how much to donate. I'm not a fan of that. I'm really not a fan of that. Like, I don't like that at all. Because Pirate Software gets a cut, and then on top of that, it doesn't really mean that it's like a real fucking thing. It's not a real hype train. Why encourage that? Wouldn't you, exactly. Why wouldn't you want it to naturally happen? Wouldn't you feel better that it naturally happened rather than fucking try to convince not convince, but like, basically say, hey, you could do this if you want. Like, who cares? You're basically kind of like co-signing an AstroTurf. And it's not like an actual 100% natural occurrence, which is what hype trains are supposed to be. It's not truly a hype train, but it shows that Pirate Software was okay with people like telling him, hey, how much do you need to make this go longer? Yeah, I would call it like fake engagement. I would say that. So hype trains have provable effect on the amount of donations, and hype trains get you the front of Twitch if you have a hype train, so you can fuck ton of money. Interesting, because the ads also play during that. If you get front page of Twitch, more people are willing to click, which means you get more ad revenue. That makes sense now. That makes sense.
The service of Twitch, or at its worst, could actually spell legal consequences for Pirate Software.
Is it legal consequences, or are you going off of Legal Mindset says? The guy that privated that video about going overseas to have sex with Taiwanese boys or whatever. Are we listening to Legal Mindset?
Now, at the time of recording this, I've spoken to a lawyer, and I'm actually going to be including a few clips from our conversation that we had, as I think they're useful for this video. But I'm also going to be creating an update video where I go much more in depth with this lawyer after we fully go through the details of all the information that we've gathered. Through other people, we've also...
Oh, excuse me, you didn't know that?
Been able to get in touch with someone who works at Twitch to go over this possible alleged terms of service being broken.
I cited this video out of the other way around. Okay.
at Twitch. I should also make it very
LM cited this video. Got it.
clear that the legal ramifications are not going to be gone in full depth here, and they are just alleged right now. I'm not saying that he has broken any laws yet, but there is
I feel like it's potentially a gray area. I'm not sure yet.
potential. But with this oversight,
Did you guys not know about the legal mindset, like, second channel that he had where he's talking about how to be like a passport bro and like going to bang girls overseas? Did nobody know that?
this preamble out of the way, let's get
I've seen it all over Twitter, and he apparently privated the video where he was talking about it.
into the video. Now, this all starts late one night.
I don't know like how true that is, but like I don't want to know any deeper. Oh, so Noid knows. Noid knows. So I'm not speaking. I don't know. If Noid, listen, there are people that know, bro.
Just a few days ago, when somebody in my Discord,
He was he was the one going to Taiwan. Yeah.
shout out to CK, ends up sending in a screenshot of this tweet.
I thought Legal Mindset disproved that. Apparently he privated the video about it. That's what I heard.
In Thailand, it's illegal to
Ooh.
have sex for money in public. See, that's the deal. In public. In private, it doesn't matter. So, and the definition of private is the curtain, right? To pull the curtain, it's fine. So just be understanding, if you're a guy who wants to do that, that's available to you down there. Thai women, very much like Western men, very open to it. So yeah, that's Thailand.
It's not that.
Whoa!
This tweet comes from Guy, and they say pirate
Oh, that sounded way worse than I thought it would. Holy shit. Woo! That's a big yikes.
software acts
The last time Pyro got to the record hype trade here, 300,000 one stream. Jesus Christ!
accidentally revealed his DMs with Kronos during the April 1st Twitch Giga Train.
Wait, is it Kronos, the guy who's the lawyer? The copyright lawyer that he used to threaten that guy who made the game? That is him.
Knowing that they were boosting it themselves. This is why the stream is unavailable to watch. And here we have this screenshot. I want to make it clear at this point, this is the only thing that we have in regard to the situation. So let's take a look at that screenshot. Now, in this screenshot, it is Pirate wearing a banana costume, or excuse me, a long lemon. And he's on Discord.
Of course he's wearing a banana.
So let's take a look at that screenshot. Now, in this screenshot, it is Pirate.
Of course. What? Why do you do this? Why do people dress up in fucking... If they're... Oh my god, this is the problem, right? Okay. Silly costumes are not a problem, right? The problem it lies with, like, if you're a serious person and then you get into drama later, every person's gonna use it.
Pirate wearing a banana costume, or excuse me, a long lemon. And he's on Discord here, and it looks like he must have accidentally pulled up this Discord interaction that he was having with Kronos. That's his lead moderator. Reading off the messages here, the first one from Kronos is, Pirate responds, let me know if you do. Bits is going to be the best way to do it due to the return if you need to save it. Kronos says, bits rather than tier 3s? Pirate responds, tier 3s might be better, don't know. Bits is 82% return when you buy them in bulk. Have you bought any yet? Kronos says, I've done 100 tier 1s on my personal, ready to do 40 tier 3s on an alt. Can do bits instead or both. Then Kronos says, did 50k bits at 20 seconds left. Pirate says, okay, what is the alt account? Kronos replies, serendipitous bean, where's the beef? And then below that, he says, didn't mention this to the mods either. Now the challenge is to clear the queue. So that's a lot to throw at you at once, and we're going to pick it apart as we go over this video. But what is going on here? Now, to preempt this, some people might know that Twitch uses this thing called a hype train. Essentially, the more you get
Thank you for explaining me the fucking... God, I hate Quinthio.
donations or gifts in a short amount of time, it raises the level of this hype train. And when you pass certain benchmarks, people
500,000 was stolen from Iron Mouse. That fucking sucks. I feel terrible for her. I hate VTuber drama, though.
unlock things. For instance, last year on April 1st, back in 2024, Twitch's hype train record smashed again by Pirate Software. And they go into detail about Pirate breaking the Twitch
Oh my god, The Verge wrote about this?
hype train world record, with his channel reaching level 106 on April 1st. Once the hype train was initiated, it took Hall roughly 3 hours to beat his previous level 55 world record from December, with viewers contributing 54,380 gifted subs alongside regular subscriptions and 8.2 million bits, likely earning Hall a healthy 6-figure sum in the process. And he goes into a
I don't know what a hype train is because I don't use Twitch. If you're on Twitch, right? If you're watching Twitch streamers, like let's say hypothetically somebody donated to me like 50 memberships. You guys were all donating like $100 donations, right? Like in a row, right? Like if I had a couple thousand people just like throwing that money at me, there's a bar that pops up and it says hype train on it. And if you get it to a certain end of the train, like a whole confetti thing goes off, and then it goes tier 1 hype train, then tier 2 hype train, then 3, 4, 5, and it keeps going up and up and up. And if you hit, like, if you just keep going, Twitch will push your channel up the algorithm to be on the main page. It's a lot of fucking money that you need to pay for this like random little bar, this little progress bar on the channel. That's why I don't like doing goals or anything. I think it's ridiculous to like put a goal for people to donate. Like it'd probably net me more money, but like I hate doing it personally.
A bit more detail. Hype trains, a feature that Twitch launched in 2020, are a limited time event triggered when a channel receives an uptick in bits or subscriptions, pushing past a streamer designated threshold. And you can see here that the people that were a part of this hype level 100 train were given the Kappa Infinite emote, dropping in chat for hype train participants. I wanted to show this because it'll be important later, but Veto is a name of a VTuber who ended up beating that record and getting to a 111 level hype train. And this is what Pirate Software had to say when they found out their record was broken.
So Veto broke the hype train record. Veto's record is now level 111, and that's wild. I think that's freaking incredible, to be honest with you. With help from Valorant, I mean, yeah. So during that hype train, they got an extra 19,000 subs from Valorant, which is wild, like absolutely wild. So I think they ended up with something like 80,000 subs. Our hype train was 54,000 subs, but you guys had given 8 million bits, and that was kind of the difference between the two. No, there's no cheating. No, don't try to diminish what they did at all. I think Veto is an amazing content creator. I think Neurosom is cool as shit.
So that specific part.
That's nice of him to say that and not be pissed off about losing the world record spot. Okay.
About cheating. What do you think that Pirate means by that cheating? He said, no, let's not take that away. I don't think there was cheating. Don't diminish that. I would assume that
that's him just saying, yeah, he hit it on his own merits. Like, I feel like that's something I would say too. Like if I was in the moment and like I had a record and somebody beat the record and people in my chat were like, he definitely cheated. I'd be like, bro, what are you talking about? Like, why would we call it cheating? That's what a normal person would do, right? What is this? All right. So Killjoy wants me to watch this right now. What is this?
Veto's hype train got the Valorant assist. He got 19,000 bonus subs from Valorant because Valorant was doing a thing where they gave like bonus subs. I think we're at the level of like the hype train competition that if we actually do want to beat the world record again, we're going to have to do it during one of those events. That's the only time that I think that can happen at this point. Because 111 is like, that's like you got to be Kai Cenat or you got to have like some kind of event going on, you know? Yeah, that's completely wild, dude. 111 is crazy. 70 is insane on its own, so. Could do it in September. September is wild. Yeah, that is wild. Oh, wait, how many bits and subs was that? Shit, I didn't even get to see. Hold up.
Basically, he couldn't be Vidal and said he cheated. Wait, what? When?
The level of, like, the hype train competition that if we actually do want to beat the world record again, we're going to have to do it during one of those events. That's the only time that I think that can happen at this point.
That could happen at this point. So I would say he's talking about, like, his community can't muster that up outside of an event.
Because 111 is, like, that's like you got to be Kai Cenat or you got to have, like some kind of event going on, you know? Yeah, that's completely wild, dude. 111 is crazy. 70 is insane on its own, so. Could do it in September. September is wild. Yeah, that is wild. Oh, wait, how many bits and subs was that? Shit, I didn't even get to see. Hold up. It was 15,800 subs and 1.5 million bits. God damn. Level 70 at 71%. God damn. Level 70 at 71%. That is wild, dude.
Weird. I don't know. He's saying because an event Vidal cheated. I don't think he's saying Vidal cheated there. I don't know. I don't see that. I don't see that. So this is during this April 1st stream after he failed to beat Vidal. This is a cope session of him trying to say he lost because Vidal had help to beat his own record. He didn't say that expressly. Maybe it's just a way of interpretation. That's just me, though.
Cheating in terms of building up a hype train would maybe be to artificially inflate it yourself by chance coordinating with a mod of yours, maybe your head mod, to keep a hype train alive. I would say that myself. Could be wrong. Interested to hear what you guys think, but let's continue on. And to make it clear, we're not contesting his 106 level hype train that happened back in April of 2024. I have no reason to believe that there were any shenanigans involved with his 106 world record breaking one, as I don't have.
I would argue that now this does open a door to kind of audit his other hype train stream in 2024. I'm kind of against that. I think you should audit it.
Have any evidence of that. And regardless of
if there's already evidence posted here of him trying to say, hey, mod, we should do this. I don't know, buddy.
Of your understanding of his pattern of behavior, anything like that. I'm not making that allegation myself. I'm not saying anything about that specific achievement. We're talking about this year, April 1st, 2025. Now, I think one of the most important parts about this is validating that this is a real screenshot. And how are we going to do that? Because as it stands right now, Pirate Software had removed the YouTube VOD, and as well as the Twitch VOD ends up deleting itself after 60 days. And I think we hit that threshold. Now, this leak could be the reason that this ended up getting taken down, this VOD, but there's another potential reason as to why. And it actually comes from that head moderator that you saw in the screenshot, Kronos. Now, I had replied to Guy, and I'm actually going to show you two different ones. The guy actually posted this screenshot in a couple of other places. I said, hey, where were you able to find this? Would like to get some more info on this. And then they replied, it's my own screenshot from the stream, ex-subscriber. And so I said, could you send me a screenshot of where that file is in your folder just so we can see a timestamp of that picture? I know that's weird, but the more info we have, the more we can validate this. And I give my Discord. Well, Kronos replied back, and you guys might recognize this phraseology here. You could have asked me about this one had you reached out. Well, I couldn't reach out to Kronos unless I added him and then he accepted my friend request on Discord since we don't share a mutual server, which means I can't just message him even if we aren't friends. But he goes on to say, I've spoken about this before, but I guess the truth isn't as compelling. Kronos VII on Discord. VOD was removed to prevent a 2025 repeat of people watching the 2024 video and messaging donators, myself included. Now, I should note that I also said said, if you could send me your January comments relating to this, I'd love to have them. Also, sent to a friend request on Discord. That was 12 hours ago. He still has not added me back. Still waiting on that response. But I think to remain charitable here, the VOD was removed to prevent a 2025 repeat of people watching the 2024 video and messaging donators. Let's just...
That doesn't make any sense to me. The VOD was removed to prevent a 2025 repeat of people watching the 2024 video and messaging donators. In what sense? To like make them donate more? To shame them in the donating? Like, I don't know what's the point of that. I don't get that. That doesn't make any sense.
Just go with that. Now, Kronos made another reply, and I want to highlight this. He said this before. In January, during the WoW drama, people contacted me and others about donating during the Hype Train record in 2024. This year, I did less from my main and did some on an alt. Now, I'll be honest, I'm a bit confused about this message. People contacted...
That doesn't make... People contacted me and others about donating during the Hype Train record in 2024. What does that mean? We see the DM right here, buddy. Like, it was you and software talking about it. Like, I don't know what you mean here.
Me and others about donating during the Hype Train record in 2024. I think he's saying that in the same fashion that they were people harassing donators in the last one back in 2024, he didn't want...
But they didn't even say the word harassing. It's just saying contacting. There was no sort of like indication of it being harassment in the first place. That doesn't make any sense. So he did admit that there were people getting DM'd to donate to the Hype Train to artificially inflate it.
To have the same issue, so he donated and wanted to make donations from that alternate account. Now, based on how I'm reading this... and
I don't understand the need to make an alt account. I don't understand that. So if you're donating a lot of money, why do it from an alt account if you're already in Twitch? Because I don't think Twitch has a cap on donating. Because I know that YouTube has a cap. Like if you donate, like Google has a cap. You can't donate like more than $500 or something a day on one account for YouTube. I understand that. I don't know if Twitch has that same parameter. Twitch has a cap on bits. Okay, so it does have a cap on bits. Interesting.
And again, I could be wrong. Maybe I'm misunderstanding what Kronos said, but he said that he did do 100 tier 1s on his personal. Now, if you have an issue with people harassing you and you end up using an alt, I would figure that you would probably send most of the donations through that alt account, but sending 100 separate tier 1 subs, or maybe they were grouped in 5s, 25, maybe you did it all at once, that's still putting your name out there. That's still going to get people to message you. So, I mean, having the VOD deleted afterwards is going to solve all of it regardless, so you shouldn't have to worry about if you donated it using your personal account. The VODs have been wiped. I just wanted to make sure I went through both of his messages. I'm not trying to cherry pick here, but let's move on to how we were able to...
I'm going to be honest, I'm cherry picking because I don't trust that guy's fucking story. That story is weak.
Confirm that this existed in the first place. Number one, Kronos is not refuting it, but more importantly, number two, we were actually able to receive an archived VOD of this stream. Now I'm about to show you guys an archived VOD of this example.
Quintio, what is this ear rape? What is this ear rape? Why is it only in one ear?
Stream where we're able to prove that those leaked DMs showed up in this stream. Now, at the time that I first showed this, and the first time that I had found it in my Discord, is that's where it was sent in, I didn't know who had archived this, but I want to give credit to the individual who had this archived VOD, and that is Scorpion from MK on Kiwi Farms. And I want...
Why am I watching this and why should I care? Great question. Gay, furry, Dark Viper knockoff.
To apologize that I did not know this going into my stream. Again, you deserve full credit for this, and I genuinely really appreciate that you had this VOD. Otherwise, we wouldn't have this solid proof to back up this.
Shut up, Quintio. Please just get to it.
Screenshot that we had found, so thank you.
The audio is so bad.
Here it is in all of its glory. It is...
And it just swaps back to both ears. I hate you. I hate your guts.
11 hours and 59 minutes and 57 seconds. To the best of my knowledge, this stream was 12 hours long. So they usually do that 11-hour 55 cut. So we have the entire thing, and it's not super relevant to be missing those last couple of minutes because we have everything we need here.
You do a setting on Twitch to block all messages? Yeah, I know.
As a matter of fact, if I go ahead and jump over here to 726, we're going to see exactly what I'm talking about.
I wished I could place my head between them and go full burn mode and make...
What?
So this is him pulling it up on stream here, and I'll just go ahead and let the rest of...
Bruh, you're streaming and you have your fucking Discord DMs open, homie.
Play, as you guys will see that this
is rough. Look at his little smile. He's so happy. He's like, oh, what's that? And he pulls it up, goes, oh shit.
Is indeed pirate software. You can see his messages between Kronos, the ones that we were just showing you, and then you're going to watch him go ahead and delete the text-to-speech that he just heard.
What? What is this? Where is it? I'm gonna find this. I need to find your message. God damn it, click your garbage machine. What? Who are you? Why are you like this? Number 420. Deleted. Jesus Christ.
Now, number one, as far as I'm concerned, I think that's aptly proving that, yes, this is indeed pirate software. He's going through, he deleted the text-to-speech, you heard him talking about it, and he had the authority to delete that message. Now, the other thing I found interesting about this little chain of events here is that he quickly switches to a different DM after he realizes that this is on screen, and that happens before he goes to his Discord. And he looks a bit panicked, but that, again, I'm speculating here, right?
What? What is this? Where?
He jumps over to this one.
Ooh, okay. I'm starting to see what Quintio's talking about here. That's somebody that clicked off of the DM to not allow the rest of these DMs to be seen. Instead of just clicking on to his server, he clicked onto another DM when he immediately recognized that that one was the one showing that he's getting artificially inflated. Oh, okay. Gay furry dark viper, this dress is banana. I wish I didn't have a short day at work.
first to, clear so you guys can't see what he's saying to Kronos, and that's when he starts looking for his server.
Is it? I'm gonna find this. I need to find your message. God damn it, click.
So now that we've confirmed that this really does exist, it existed on that.
Yeah, that's way too many Discords. How many Discords is he in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. It probably goes further down here. That's too many Discords.
I need to find your message.
Too many Discords. Too many Discords. Too many Discords. Too many Discords.
God damn it, click.
So now that we've confirmed that this really does exist, it existed on that VOD, let's take a look at that screenshot again. So this specific bit up here, let me know if you do. Bits is going to be the best way to do it due to the return if you need to save it. Bits rather than tier 3s. Tier 3s might be better, don't know. Bits is 82% return when you buy them in bulk. Have you bought any yet?
Probably all gay furry RP. True, Scully.
Now my leading theory here, specifically with that 82% number that Thor is throwing out, has to do with the conversion rate when you get bits into a Twitch stream. Now, as you can see here, when your viewers perform and confirm an action that requires bits within the extension on your channel page, you'll earn 80% of 1 US cent per bit used, and the remaining 20% is shared with the extension developer. So here's that 80%, but let's do a little bit of that math. So taking a look here, I just took a screenshot, went into a Twitch stream, went to the bits, and you can actually get a 12% discount at 25,000 bits. So that puts you at a $308 price tag. Now to make this a bit easier to understand, one of my buddies here actually created this here, so special thanks to them, but we're showing that 82%. So bit is 82% when you buy them in bulk. What he means is if you spend $308 to buy 25,000 bits, donate them, the streamer gets $250. And then of course Twitch takes its fee, that 20% being $58, which means that $250 is the money going out, like to the streamer, and $308 is the money that you put into the system to give that $250 to the streamer. So that's how you end up getting a return on your money of 81.1.6. Now there is that 0.84%, discrepancy between this 81% and 82% the Pirate's referencing, but I think that that is a safe enough margin of error when we're talking about this. But all of that math is to show that this 82% return when you buy them in bulk is referencing that they are receiving 82% of the funds that are used in these donations, meaning that...
Ooh. Wait a minute. I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong here, because didn't Darkside Phil get banned for this or like departnered for this? Didn't Phil get departnered for explaining how bits versus subs work? Didn't they remove his monetization on Twitch due to that? But Phil was doing it like publicly on stream, like begging people to do it. He would like explain like the breakdown to people live on Twitch, not in DMs. So this might be a gray area with Twitch. But if they have a zero tolerance policy for explaining the returns and how much a streamer gets through certain kinds of donations versus the company. No, you got deplatformed for being Phil. It was racist stuff. I also thought it was because he was like outing the fact of how to make more money on Twitch as a streamer. Like he would tell people you have to donate with like with bits and bits give me more money or something like that. I thought that was breaking TOS guidelines.
That 82% is going to Pirate Software, which would then in turn, and I think the only reason Pirate Software is talking about this return is because that money would be going back to Kronos. So not only would he be able to donate to this hype train and help.
The thing is mod team, I don't see it as the same. I guess, but like a moderator is just a random person that you gave a power, like authority power as a Janny. They aren't the streamer. They aren't the contractually obligated partner streamer. I feel like there's a bit of a difference in that.
Help it out, which he literally admits to, as we see in these messages here. Right down here, he says, did 50k bits at 20 seconds left. But they're also trying to save as much overhead as possible and get it back to Kronos without bleeding as much money. Now, I'm sure there's a potential for another reason for them to have been talking in this way. That is my best guess based on the information that I was able to pull about the bits, percentage of what goes to the creator, what ends up going to Twitch. Interested to hear what you guys think if anyone understands these systems a bit better. Now, another wrench in this point is the fact that Kronos lives in the UK, so we don't know for sure if he's using that or, the currency where he lives. And that could play a factor since the price of bits is different based on where you're from. Now, we're about to get into where this could potentially break terms of service with Twitch and some of that potential legal aspect of this. But first, I want to go over that alt account that Kronos is referencing. Now, this is that serendipitous bean account. It does exist on...
Oh my god, just shut up, Quinthio. Get to the point.
Twitch. Moreover, if we go over and look at the overview for this profile, and that's over here on Twitch Tracker, we can see that the account was created April 1st of 2025, which would line up with the timeline of having this alt account created on the same day that this stream was recorded. And then going back to alt account name is and saying, where's the... This is important. As a matter of fact, still in Pirates Discord, there are these answered TTS from 3 months ago, which lines up with that time frame. And here we can see probably the one that I'm specifically referring to here is my favorite ferret is beef, because where's the beef? So I think it's pretty safe to say we can tell that this is Kronos, since he literally said verbatim, where's the beef in the Discord messages between him and Pirate. So we know for a fact that Pirate has seen, can confirm, and knows that Serendipitous Bean is Kronos' alt account. Not only that, but we have something super cringe. So that was the first Twitch text-to-speech, and we could actually kind of attribute that maybe Pirate didn't know that that was the alt at the time that that text-to-speech went out. But we do know for a fact that the second text-to-speech that was sent out by Serendipitous Bean, Pirate knew full well that it was Kronos. That's going to make the second clip I'm about to play you that much more painful to watch. So here's that where's the beef text-to-speech here.
Serendipitous Bean with 25,000 bits said my favorite ferret is beef because WHERES the beef.
So that was the first one sent from Kronos, and this is the second one.
Serendipitous Bean with 50,000 bits said IRL friend of Kronos and excited that they are now free from corporate.
I know.
Love your...
IRL friends with Kronos. What?
Bit said my favorite ferret is beef because WHERES the beef.
So that was the first one sent from Kronos, and this is the second one.
Serendipitous Bean with 50,000 bits said IRL friend of Kronos and excited that they are now free from corporate.
I know.
Love your stream and what you do for people here. There aren't many cool or supportive streamers left once they get big like this. Stay cool, bud, and tell Kronos that Ben sends their regards.
I'm sorry you had to know Kronos in real life.
With
Just like me.
500 bits said when his
Oh my god, he's pretending. Oh my god. He's totally pretending that he has no idea who the fuck that is. Okay, dude. Okay, this is a lot more sleazy than I thought. Oh, wow. Especially after leaking the DMs. Ooh. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good.
You are pregnant and going to be real.
He had to do a little glazing for his boss, but oh my god, that was painful, knowing now that that is actually Kronos. But now lastly, over here at the bottom, didn't mention this to the mods either, so this wasn't, planned amongst all the other mods, but then right below that says, now the challenge is to clear the queue. Now what's this clearing the queue? Well, there's actually an answer, and this is in the form of one of Pirate Software's shorts.
What's the TTS queue and wait time? So every time somebody donates to do a TTS, I actually have a system, and you can see it goes into this queue. Every time I hit this button, like this, it eats.
Cheer 500 loving war within so far as a warlock.
Yeah, your message then goes into Discord. It actually has a timestamp here to show where that's going on, so you can click on it, and it works, right? And then if I don't get to your message by the end of the stream, it goes into debt. And right now, we've given $56,805 to charity since November of last year, because if I don't answer your message, I don't deserve the money, so we pay it to charity.
So I think that's all that you specifically need to know.
That's actually a pretty cool method for him. Listen, I'll give him some credit for that. No other streamer that I'm aware of does that. So good for you, Moldavius.
No. Now we understand that every TTS
But does he? That's a good question. Where's the money?
that doesn't get cleared
See, now I'm being a dick. Where's the money? Where's the money? Completionist? Are you hiding it in a bank account somewhere?
through the queue, meaning Pirate ends up playing it for the stream, that ends up all getting donated to charity. And it seems like Kronos is well aware of that fact. And so now the challenge being to clear the queue means that they want to make sure that they get through everything so that none of it gets donated to charity. Now that could be nefarious, but also at the same time, I think the goal is that he does want to read through them all because
I will not give you stickers.
he wants to, appreciate the people that have been sending the money to him. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure
I respect your time and your intelligence and your money.
their goal is to get through every single one of those text-to-speeches, and inevitably, they will end up donating some to charity because they might not be able to get through all of them in a single stream. And it ends up being that if they don't read it, ends up going to charity. So I don't really see an issue per se with that. Some people could take it that way. I don't think I necessarily need to make that argument because I think there's a reasonable understanding that, of course, the goal
What about Chef Cam? When I move out, I might consider setting one up.
is to clear the queue every time. And it's not just because it's all going into their pockets, although that's the main reason, but they do also just want to respect the viewers that have sent their money in. But now let's talk about that Twitch terms of service and if this is breaching that terms of service. Now this hinges on the hypothesis that Kronos is getting paid back by Pirate through these bit donations that he did. And he did 75,000 bits in total, so $750. Now, of course, there was a little bit less due to that 12% discount, but that's the ballpark here. And again, reached out to see if someone from Twitch can actually better clarify if any terms of service were broken. So at this moment, this is all just speculation and I don't have any other confirmation.
Yeah, Twitch is not going to do anything about that. Did you already give your thoughts on the new Doodle allegation? There's a new Doodle Toads allegation. Ah!
Now, what I'm showing you guys here is from Twitch's legal Bits Acceptable Use Policy. Now, I'm just going to read the title of this area that I'm going to be reading from. Bits cannot be directly exchanged for items or services of value. Now, that specifically directly exchanged is a bit, convoluted here since it's going directly to the stream, but then supposedly, potentially, Kronos will be getting paid back. The front line reads, don't engage in an exchange of bits for items or services that typically are associated with a cost or value. Communities can gather to achieve a goal that unlocks a benefit or experience for the community, explained further below. Creators can announce benefits in response to individual cheers. However, in each of those scenarios, the activity does not provide a return of anything of value. And down here explicitly, it says, now the don'ts that constitute violations of this policy. Don't solicit bits in exchange for money or donations, and don't request money or donations for bits. Now, this doesn't work because Pirate is not saying, hey, we're, giving you guys money if you give me bits.
Yeah, that's not happening. So that does not fit in line with exactly what they're talking about.
And it's also not Kronos requesting money for those donations. But if we come down here, we can see this specific point here: selling, offering to sell, trading, bartering, or transferring bits to other users of Twitch in exchange for real or virtual currencies. Now this, we could make the argument that the selling, or I should say offering to sell or transferring bits to other users of Twitch in exchange for real currency would be the equivalent of Kronos donating those bits to Pirate's stream, knowing that he's getting this, as we talked about, that 82% return. Or I should say that that 82% return is going to Pirate. That assumption being that this return of 82% is for Pirate so that he can get it back to him and lower their overhead costs. Now again,
Is it though? Like, you don't really have any proof that he's paying, like he's saying, oh, I'm going to pay you back for this. Like, I don't see that. I don't know about that. That to me seems a little pushy, to kind of like put something on there. Hold on. Let me just fucking re-listen to that.
To sell or transfer Twitch in exchange for real or virtual currencies. Now this, we could make the argument that the selling, or I should say offering to sell or transferring bits to other users of Twitch in exchange for real currency.
Moldavius pays his mods. You are correct. Moldavius does pay his mod. Okay, I see where you're coming from now because I forgot about him paying his mods like a salary or whatever, which is ridiculous. Kronos, I believe, has revenue share with Pirate. That is interesting. So that's essentially the business. Look, the business artificially inflating a hype train. There's no payout to anything involving that, but that's interesting.
Currency would be the equivalent of Kronos.
But he pays his mods to mod, not to donate bits to inflate his numbers. That does make sense. But his mod was the one that volunteered to do it, and Pirate Software didn't stop him and actually gave him better tactics to be able to donate better. That makes more sense. I feel like this is just a scummy tactic rather than a TOS violation. I feel like this is just him being scummy, and they astroturfed it more than I could say that Pirate Software broke like mass Twitch TOS, like a Hassan moment or something. You know?
Donating those bits to Pirate's stream, knowing that he's getting this, as we talked about that.
Does that make sense? I feel like that makes sense, right? It's like I'm sitting here going, it's definitely exploitative, it's definitely scummy, it's definitely all these things, but is it a clear-cut case of Twitch violating TOS to remove him from the partner program and get him banned on Twitch? I don't know if that would be the case.
82% return.
Kronos is the one who broke TOS. Okay.
Or I should say that 82% return is going to Pirate. That assumption being that this return of 82% is for Pirate so that he can get it back to him and lower their overhead costs. Now, again, there is nothing directly stating outright you cannot, as like a moderator or an employee for a streamer, donate bits to, get that money back afterwards. But there's no specific ruling on that, or not at least that I've seen from the research that I put together, or that any research with people that I have worked with making this video have found themselves. Now, other examples of this Twitch term to serve potentially being broken here has to come from spam scams and other malicious content.
Yeah, it's a very, very dark gray area. It's a very gray area that we're in right now.
And listed below, and for example, you may not, it includes this part here about engage in viewership tampering, such as artificially inflating follow or live viewer stats. Now, my expert armchair...
would the live viewer stats also mean like hype train? Is that how that works? It's... I feel like live viewer stats, like let's say you're like botting a channel or something, right? Or like botting the amount of engagement on your stream. I feel like that's a little bit of a different situation.
Share analysis, I would look at...
Hi, Chris. You see that Sam Hyde, alleged, crashed out on a podcast? Lol? Did he like beat up the guy?
That and go, okay, well, they were seemingly based off of,
most likely, yeah, it's to get you pushed up to the front page. I feel like that I feel like those that particular breakdown of the live viewer thing is more for like sub botting, like a blatant sub botting. I feel that's more what the wording's made for, but it's an interpretation that needs to be made by Twitch, I guess.
Kronos directly saying,
you frame it as a professional social engineer, basically social engineered his audience and giving him more money, I guess.
I added those 50k bits with 20 seconds left. It sounds like he is artificially, with coordination from Pirate Software, keeping the hype train going, which may look like natural engagement, which may incentivize other people to donate to the hype train because...
I get the argument. I do. I get it. I feel like Twitch is going to like not do anything about it.
They want to build it up because there's a potential that they unlock this emote or they unlock other rewards in the progression of leveling up this hype train. I think this might also contribute to the cheat the Twitch reward system, in which case I think maybe you could make that argument, but at the same time...
yeah, but that's such for drops or channel point system. That's like trying to like exploit the channel point system more than anything. I don't know about that. Because there's nothing in here that is specific to the hype train.
The alternate account that he would have been donating these bits on wouldn't really be...
Don't ever stream on Twitch. You're basically just kicking yourself in the dick when you're streaming on Twitch, because they throttle people so hard that are like trying to even hold like 10 viewers. Yeah, like they have a like those streamers that are on Twitch that are successful that you see every day, they hold like the largest monopoly on that website. Like you can't grow. You might as well like just start streaming on YouTube. Honest to God.
Be cheating that Twitch reward system, since he would be receiving the rewards from it. Again, that's more like incentivizing other people that would naturally donate. They would be more likely to donate if you were getting closer to one of those goals. And they got closer to that goal by artificially inflating the train. Pyrocynical is going to have a heyday with this video if he ever reacts to it. Now, the last big like TOS thing that I have here is under
I hate Quintheos so much.
Incentivizing other people that would naturally donate. They would be more likely to donate if you were getting closer to one of those goals. And they got closer to that goal by artificially inflating the train. Pyrocynical is going to have a heyday with this video if he ever reacts to it. Now,
oh, okay, it's just a joke. I thought he was being like, I hope Pyro reacts to it. Okay, it was just an inflation joke. Okay, that's fine. I'm okay with that.
The last big like TOS thing that I have here is under prohibited...
Is that true? I don't know what you mean.
Conduct here. Specifically here under II, it says impersonate any person or entity, or falsely claim an affiliation with any person or entity. Now, technically, Kronos impersonated someone that was friends with Kronos. I think that's a really lame technicality, but at the end of the day, he did pretend to have a friend, which is kind of funny. But more...
You have to mention Pyro when you make an inflation joke. You can't not.
Specifically, in the second part of this II here, it says, misrepresent the source, identity, or content of information transmitted via the Twitch services. I would say by using an alternate account and not disclosing that to the public that was viewing the stream would count as misrepresenting the source and identity of the person donating. But all of these...
Yeah, but like alt accounts are a constant thing. People go on alt accounts to donate to streamers all the time to keep donating to them. Like I've had people do that before where I've had like one of my bigger days where it's like somebody will donate 50 gifted members. I'm like, holy shit, that's awesome. And then they'll go to another account and donate another 50. And I'm like, holy shit, thank you, I guess. But I had no idea it was an alt account until they say, oh, I had to make an alt account. It's like, okay, I've only had that one time ever. But like it does happen.
Potential breaks in the terms of service could mean absolutely nothing. Now, I spoke with the lawyer that had actually worked with Private Parts back when he received a cease and desist from Pirate Software in regard to his video game, including Pirate Software's voice in it. Now, I spoke with him a little bit about this specific point. He had some really interesting information to provide in regard to the fact that Pirate Software might have a different contract with Twitch that would supersede the terms of service that would typically apply as a blanket for most people.
Well, yeah, because he's a partner. And he's a large partner, so I'd assume that his contract is a little bit different than the baseline partnership program that they have. I can see that argument. I can see it.
That are streaming on Twitch.
There's another layer here too, right? Okay, so there's the terms of service that most of us are going to have available to us, but someone like him, he may have a different terms of service that we don't get to see. He may have a...
I wouldn't call it a terms of service. See, I would call it like a differentiating contract or like a contract that's a little bit more favorable toward him rather than a completely different terms of service because every partner gets the same terms of service. I would say a contract's a little bit more different.
Separate individual contract. He got a separate written agreement that says literally on it, Twitch terms of service are superseded by our written agreement. Thusly, you may only think you may think, and Twitch may allow you to think because that seems more fair.
He does sound like gilded.
It seems like more fair for gamers if the rules are all the same for everybody. But no, they don't have to tell you that. Nobody has to tell you that. So he has, and I would be kind of surprised, actually, if he didn't have a separate agreement that said, those terms of service do not apply except to this extent or superseded except to this. I mean, if I were him, I would want to have a separate agreement, and his agreement it's possible. Who knows? We don't know what his contract is. We can talk theoretically about what Twitch's terms of service, how it would apply.
Who knows? Challenges through donations. Donations to post challenges. You would also include that. Interesting.
If it applies to him, but we honestly don't know. And that kind of thing is not that uncommon in the real business world. Like in when it comes to real business and you're dealing with real large amounts of money, people have individual there's contracts of adhesion, we call them, are the ones that ordinary users can't change. Right? Ordinary users have no opportunity to change. But when you get into like where real money is changing hands, people don't do contracts of adhesion. They're custom. That's why you have lawyers. You negotiate these things. They are negotiated. He may have had it so that like this doesn't even apply at all. And it's not like he's expressly allowed to, but it's just like the prohibitions that would normally prohibit this do not apply. And maybe Twitch doesn't even give a fuck.
Sure.
I would assume Twitch probably doesn't give a fuck, but that's just me.
What's their downside? They're still getting paid, right?
Right.
So their only downside would be if it looks real bad.
But now let's specifically tackle legality. Like US law, is what he did illegal? Based off the information that I have now, it's very, very shaky at best. And I say that because it's the information that I have right now. Now, in a future video here, probably within the next few days, I'm going to be having a full-on conversation and go really in depth about the details of this with the lawyer I was just showing you guys clips from. And I think through that, I'm going to have a much better answer for you. But as of right now, when we're focusing on the legal...
Yeah, but does that lawyer know anything about like contract law? Is he just like a free speech lawyer? Like you have to have a lawyer that is specifically designed for the idea of what you're trying to argue with. Like, I hate this whole, like, it's just a lawyer. It's like, no, there are lawyers that specialize in shit. You should find a lawyer that is specializing in that, but fuck me, right?
Aspect of this, looking at US law, the first thing that I want to point out is I don't think that this is like money laundering. I think it's kind of scummy that he's using Kronos and him using his alternate account to make these donations to artificially grow the...
And then on top of that, growing the train to get put into magazines, which grows Pirate Software Station even more as one of the top hype train people. I get it.
Train, but specifically with that last part, not about money laundering, but based off of the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, this could be considered a deceptive business practice or deceptive act.
Oh my God, we're getting the FTC involved? Come on.
So I'm pulling this information directly from the Federal Trade Commission Act, Section 5, Unfair or Deceptive Acts or Practices. Now I'm just showing you where this is in the document. I'm going to pull up a screenshot because it's easier to zoom in. We're focusing on this part here, deceptive acts and practices, assessing whether an act or practice is deceptive. Now you may see that there's a little line here indicating that's where my mouse was. No, I did not edit this, and I'll leave a link in the description to this so that you can verify that yourself. I'm going to read this part off here. There must be a representation, omission, or practice that misleads or is likely to mislead the consumer. An act or practice may be found to be deceptive if there is a representation, omission, or practice that misleads or is likely to mislead the consumer. It goes on to say deception is not limited to situations in which a consumer has already been misled.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest. I feel like this is getting like out of control now. Like I'm gonna keep a buck with you. I don't think Pirate Software broke the law. I don't think the FTC is gonna give a shit about this. Like I feel like they aren't gonna give a fuck. I feel like we're going above and beyond the station of just being like, Yeah, Moldavius was caught like doing fake hype, an astroturfed hype train. Most of it is real, but he got pushed over the edge by this other guy. So like, yeah, I can agree with all of that. But now we're talking about, well, the FTC could say it this way. And it's like, okay, you lost me. You lost me on the FTC. You lost me on bringing in, like, actual law into this instead of just being like, hey, this guy's a fucking loser. Like, this way. I fucking hate these guys. Oh, my God. Yes. Was Pirate Software completely dick? Was a complete douchebag, right? And he totally, I agree with this, astroturfed his hype train shit. Totally understand it. I have no problem with it. The second you start talking about Pirate Software broke the law, you lost me. I'm like, fuck off. like, shut the fuck up. Like, I'm sorry. This is why I hate this little fucker. I hated all these little fuckers during the Mr. Beast stuff, and I still hate them today. They say, like, normal shit, and then they try taking it to another level, and I'm like, okay, I can't follow you there. Yeah, Chris Tyson bad. Mr. Beast should have done something about it. But did Mr. Beast hurt and kill people at the fucking Mr. Beast games? It's like, what are you talking about? Did Mr. Beast totally stop doing charitable works? I'm like, okay, you're losing me. I'm not watching the rest of this shit. Yeah, we're veering off into unnecessary speculation land again with Quinthio. Jesus. I hate it so much. All right. So Pirate Software responded to this in particular. Nope. Kronos used his own money to do this and asked if it was okay to do so. He wasn't paid for this or told to do it either. So the thing is, though, is like I completely get that Kronos wanted to do that to get around the limitations that the accounts have. But like you didn't have to respond to this and then tell him which donation is better than the other. I feel this is scummy. No matter how you try to like articulate it, this is just scummy fucking behavior. To artificially inflate your station as a hype train guy. Like, I don't get that. He's a grown-ass man and can spend his money in whatever way he chooses. Then why are you giving him advice on which way the grown-ass man should pay you? Like, I don't get that. That, to me, is suspect as fuck. You can hate me all you want, but going after my staff is shit-tier behavior. Nobody's going after the staff. QQ, did the 82% apply to perspective instead of Kronos's in the conversation? I'm confused by the wording, if not. This is something I talk about in the community all the time. If you purchase 25,000 bits, around 82% of your purchase ends up making it to the streamer. And as such pushes the hype train more. It's not secret info, it's basic math. He wants to push the train, so I let him know, as I always let anyone know, to the best way to do so. At the end of the day, it's his money. Nobody was told to do anything, and he's his own man that can do what he wants. I don't really believe this. Let's see here. Might be better. Don't know. Bits is 82. Return when you buy them in bulk. Have you bought any yet? I've done 100 T1s on my personal. Ready to do 40 T3s on an alt. Can do bits instead or both. Did 50k bits at the 22nd left. Okay, what's the alt account? See, I don't like this. Again, gray area, scummy. That's where I'll go with this. Oh, look, harmful. Yes, the last part is actually partly why it's weird. He asked permission, and you, in return, asked him to let him know if he does. When that chunk of the conversation becomes public knowledge, it creates an appearance of impropriety. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm retarded and not British. I don't believe that you don't understand this. It's very easy to infer an end from what's been shown when, for the very reason you outlined. This is not normal behavior. Sorry to multi-tweet, but note as well that you appear to have given him the conditional permission per his screenshot. Meaning your tweet here about him being a grown-ass man free to do what he wishes can be seen as a lie about your perspective on the matter. Keep talking, though. If it's about to lose, sure. Oh! Oh, no. Oh, no. That actually makes this way worse. That's actually going to make it way worse. So he is so this right here, artificial inflation. This just proved it. I'm confused. So remember these DMs, right? Where he's talking about, like, here's a better way to donate to get the hype train going and all this shit. And people are saying, hey, he, like, artificially inflated his shit. He's like, oh, well, he's a grown-ass man. I didn't tell him to do anything. DM, if it's about to lose, sure. If I'm about to lose the hype train, sure. Donate that money. That's an artificial inflation. Wow. I was like, you know what? Quinthio sounds kind of crazy. This seems to be a nothing burger. Yeah, that just fucking ended it. The gay Riddler with a fucking elbow drop to the throat. Damn. The gay Riddler Doing it now. I have to ask, did anyone know that they added server tags? If so, we get a date when it was taken YAR as a server tag. Yeah, well, the screenshot showing 1/4 of 25. I would assume that YAR was added on when the server tags happened after this. So those get artificially added to probably all your DMs. I don't know if it does. Maybe. That's actually fucked. That's actually fucked. I think Pirate Software is fucked. Damn. I think he's fucked. Pirate Software responds to the viral Kronos his mod hype train clip.
Like, that's been a public thing forever. I think I even talked about it on there. That's against TOS, though? No, it is not against TOS. It is.
See, I argue against that because I'm still certain to this day that Darkside Phil was telling people how to donate, how to like give him more money by giving him bits rather than subs. And I feel like that contributed to Phil getting flagged or his partnership revoked on top of all the racism shit.
It's absolutely not against TOS to have somebody use their own money to buy subs and bits for the channel if they want to. That in no way was triggered by me, nor was he compensated for that or
Yeah, not triggered by me. Oh, I don't know about that one, Moldavius.
reimbursed for it. That is not against TOS. So it's a shit joke at this point. Just because you heard it on YouTube doesn't mean it is.
I just think it's a scummy practice. Again, I don't think it's going to get him banned. I don't think he's going to lose his channel. I don't think this is like the be-all, end-all. But this is definitely a scummy thing that he should... Like, this is a scummy thing that he's doing. And now he's doing, like, now he's being an arrogant fuck about this.
Yeah. In fact, I guarantee that you could go to thousands and thousands of communities across this entire platform and find lots of different moderators supporting the stream. Do you know why?
The moderators can support the stream, but thousands and thousands of creators aren't telling their mods, hey, pay me.
Because moderators are generally the first fans of the stream.
Yeah. Okay. Generally? Generally? Depends on the streamer, really.
That is how that works
It's like a 50-50 shot.
in every community on this platform. And people somehow don't understand that because you're blinded by your dislike of me. And I understand that you're upset at me, but you...
Dude, I'm not blinded by my dislike of you. Yeah, you're a fucking asshole, piece of shit. Everyone hates you for, like, genuine reasons. But, like, I was kind of on your side here, and then this pop, not on your side officially, but, like, being more charitable to it. Now we're here, and it's like, oh, I don't believe what you're saying here.
have to stop making shit up to be mad about. It's stupid at this point.
Well, the problem is that you have such a history online that people can keep digging and digging and digging and finding more contradictions, more issues, and you keep looking more and more and more and more like a retard as you go. Like, I cannot imagine living my life the way that he lives it, just being this arrogant prick all day long. Okay, we're done with the Pirate Software segment.